All right, we are going to look at page 178, and we are looking at question 23. It says, at 2 weeks old, baby Hadley weighed 9 pounds. When she was 8 weeks old, she weighed 12 pounds. Let X represent how old Hadley is, and let Y represent her weight in pounds. So I'm going to go down here to this space. We have points, X, Y, and it says X is how old she is in weeks. And it says Y is the weight. So the first piece of information they give us is 2 weeks old and 9 pounds. This second piece of information they give us is 8 weeks old and 12 pounds. Part A says find the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. So in order to find the equation, we need an M and we need a B. So when we do slope, we know we're going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So this is going to be 12 minus 9, and we're going to have 8 minus 2. So on the top, we're going to have 3. On the bottom, we're going to have 6. We can leave our slope like that, or we can simplify to 1/2. Remember, in your calculators, if you type in 3 over 6 and you hit equals, it simplifies to 1/2 for you. Okay, so this is our M. Next, we need our B value. We know that y equals mx plus b is our equation. So if I plug in our M, and we pick either one of these, it doesn't matter which one, I'm just going to use the first one, and I'm going to plug in my y, and I'm going to plug in my x, and now I need to solve for b. So I'm going to take half of 2, which is 1, I'm going to subtract 1 from each side, and I get 8 is b. So now I know my m and my b, so my equation is y equals 1/2 x plus 8. Part B up here says if Hadley continues to grow at this rate, how much will she weigh when she is 20 weeks old? That's an X value because the weeks were X. Is this reasonable? Why or why not? So if I take this equation and I plug in 20, I would say half of 20 is 10. 10 plus 8 is 18. So it says she would weigh 18 pounds. Is this reasonable? Why or why not? 18 pounds isn't that much, so I guess it's reasonable. It's kind of hard to say because you guys probably don't know how much babies weigh. But at 20 weeks old, that's about 5 months old, so that's probably reasonable. Okay. Number 27 says a raft rental company on the Gauley River rents rafts for a set fee plus an additional charge per hour. Francis asked 2 different people how many hours they had rented their rafts for and how much it cost. One rented a raft for 6 hours and paid $32. Another rented a raft for 11 hours and paid $47. Let X represent the length of time in hours a raft is rented, and Y represent the total cost. So again, I'm going to go down here to my workspace, and if we do XY, it said let X represent the hours and Y represent the cost. So we have some information. It told us that one person rented a raft for 6 hours and paid $32, and another person rented a raft for 11 hours and paid $47. So this is our X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So I want you guys to, from here, pause the video and see if you can answer the questions based on the information that we have. Okay, when you're done, you can unpause the video and see if you did it correctly. Okay, part A, we're doing the linear equation. So in order to do the linear equation, we need the slope. So I'm going to do 47 minus 32 on the top, 11 minus 6 on the bottom. 47 minus 32 is 15, 11 minus 6 is 5. So our slope is 3. We need our y-intercept next. So think about y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use the first point. I'm going to plug in 32 and do 3 times 6 plus b. So 32 equals 18 plus b, and then I'm going to subtract 18 from each side. So when I do 32 minus 18, that gives me 14 is equal to b. So my equation is y equals 3x plus 14. That answers part A. What number in the linear equation represents the amount of the set fee? The set fee is like your starting price. So for part B, 14 is the set fee. That's like my starting price. Remember, B is like where you're beginning, where you're starting, your initial value. Okay? C says, what is the real world meaning of the slope? So the slope in this problem is 3. Okay? It said that we were paying money per hour. So this is telling us it's $3 per hour that we rent. $3 per hour. Okay, part D, what domain makes sense for this scenario? Domain is for X. So I could start at 0, right? I'm not going to have negative hours. Okay, hours doesn't make sense to go negative. So if I start at 0, and then think about renting, like if I rented a raft for the river, I'm probably not going to rent it for more than a day. That wouldn't make sense. I'm not going to be rafting for 24 hours. I'm probably not going to rent, unless I was staying over and going for 2 days in a row. So maybe say 24 hours. That might be reasonable. Okay, you might say 48 hours, but you're probably not going to rent the raft for more than 2 days. Okay, so you can this number can change based on how you explain it. The 0 is not going to change because you can't have negative hours. Okay, part E, how much will someone pay for a raft rental from this company if they only kept the raft for 4 hours? So part E is telling me take the equation and replace the x value with 4. So now I just follow order of operations. I do 3 times 4, get 12. 12 plus 14 is 28. So they're going to pay $28.